When the pandemic started, believe it or not, 11 months ago, schools around the country closed. As school divisions began developing plans for the current school year, our guidance to them was that we want students and we wanted our teachers and the staff to be safe. But we encouraged in-person instruction for the students who needed it the most. When school divisions were planning this school year, there was a lot of uncertainty. There were no simple or easy decisions, not for school administrators, teachers, or parents. But we've seen more data now, and it suggests that schools don't have the kind of rapid spread that we've seen in some other congregate settings. That tells us it's time to find a path forward to in-person learning. In the past 11 months, our children have been champions. They have made sacrifices. They've endured a lot of change and uncertainty. And so have their families and teachers and school staff. But we know that this has taken a toll on our children and our families. So my fellow pediatricians say they're seeing increases in behavioral problems, mental health issues, and even increases in substance abuse among their young patients. They're writing more prescriptions, such as antidepressants and stimulants, and that's just not a good direction for us to keep going. And we're also seeing a decline in academic performance. I know this has been hard on everyone. It has been a school year like no other. It's been hard on children, and it's been hard on our teachers. But we also know this plain fact: children learn better in classrooms, and that's where they need to be. Last month, we issued guidance to our school divisions for how to plan a safe return to in-person learning. We didn't say, throw open the doors 5 days a week starting tomorrow. We said, here are the steps that you need to take. You can start with the students who most need that in-person instruction. But we also said, this needs to happen. And today I'm saying it needs to start by March the 15th. By that date, I expect every school division to make in-person learning options available in accordance with the guidance. They also need to plan for summer school options. This won't be mandatory, but it definitely needs to be an option. Our children need to catch up to be ready for learning in the fall. I want our schools to do this safely, and I want them to prioritize students who need this the most. The guidance lays out the steps for schools to take and the safety precautions that make it possible. But it's time for this to happen. It's critical to prevent greater learning loss and to support our children's health and well-being. The CDC, which updated its guidance last week, say it's possible to do this safely. Dr. Fauci has said it's possible to do this safely. President Biden has said it's possible to do this safely, and we will do it safely. And the experience of school divisions across the state shows us that it's possible to have in-person learning safely. Daycare centers and early childhood educators have demonstrated this throughout the year. We know the right things to do, requiring masks, keeping desks further apart, and more. We have prioritized vaccinating our teachers. We have given school divisions the funding that they need for safety measures. In-person learning won't look the same for every school division, and it won't look the same as school did a year ago before this pandemic began. But we need to make a start. We can do this, and we must do this. I want to take this opportunity to really thank our teachers who have been heroes throughout this time. Teachers always give a great deal of themselves to their students, but they've gone above and beyond these past 11 months. Many have been teaching in person this whole time, and many others have navigated a new world of virtual learning. They all deserve our thanks. Now, this is exciting. I'd like to introduce Virginia's 2021 Teacher of the Year, Anthony Swan. Anthony teaches the 5th grade, and I told him earlier this was one of my favorite grades, at Rocky Mount Elementary School in Franklin County. Today, I'm appointing him to the State Board of Education. He is a fantastic teacher and a tremendous mentor to his students. Anthony understands what this year has been like for students and for teachers. So please join me in welcoming Anthony Swan. Anthony, welcome.
Thank you, Governor. It is an honor and a privilege to be able to serve as the State Teacher of the Year for the year of 2021. It's an honor and a privilege to be one of the newly appointed members of the Board of Education. I'd just like to reiterate what the Governor has said. Our students need some form of in-person instruction. As a current classroom teacher, I am on the front lines of education, all while serving children during a pandemic. I know the importance of safety, but I also know the importance of our students' education. Let's face it, although some students are all virtual, they still don't have true accountability measures in place to ensure that they are learning. For instance, when my district was following a hybrid learning style, I found that when a lot of my students were at home on virtual days, they would not do the work. Once they returned to school, I had to play catch up with them instead of being able to move forward with instruction and curriculum. Our students need in-person instruction. Not only will in-person instruction help them academically, but it will also help our students with their social and emotional needs. For instance, just last week, my district, Franklin County Public Schools, was able to bring back all of our PK through 7th graders into the building 4 days a week with the proper health screenings and mitigations in place. On the very first day with all my students back, one of my students walked in the room, and his words, and I'm going to demonstrate how he reacted. He walked in the room, and his very first words, "Oh my God, I get to see my friends." So as a teacher, I'm observing how he's reacting. That meant a lot. He was excited. Then he went on to say, "Mr. Swan, I know COVID is here, but I'm just so glad I get to see my friends." Virginia knows just how important it is to keep our students safe. That's why we as educators have been put as top priority to receive the vaccination for COVID-19. I just received mine on Wednesday. Many people are reluctant to take it, but I'll just leave you with this thought. Oftentimes we put in our bodies things we don't have a clue about, or things we know that will harm our bodies. For instance, when we eat fried chicken, the grease harms the heart. So a lot of times people are reluctant to take this vaccination. Why not take the proper things and safety precautions to keep our students safe? At least you know that the purpose is to save your life and not take it. I encourage all educators to get your vaccine so that we can serve all of our children in person in a safe manner. Thank you.
This question was, is this a mandate? This is a direction from the governor. I obviously oversee our superintendents, our school boards, our superintendents. I had a conversation with our superintendents this morning, and I gave them the plan, our marching orders, if you will. They are in line with that, and I expect the superintendents, the school boards, our teachers, everybody will come on board with this, and get our children back into the classrooms. And these will be options we are giving to our schools to do this safely and responsibly. And I believe if I heard your question correctly, it's relating to extending days during the summer session. Yes, it's a good question, and I have made it clear to our superintendents and our school boards that it is very important to have these options available this summer to allow our students to catch up. Again, they have lost so much over the past year, certainly some more than others. Also to allow our families to have opportunities to allow their children to go back into schools. And we have the resources available, and they'll come from a couple sources. First of all, through the CARES Relief Act, we have funding through that, which will help support our schools. It already has, especially in taking measures to keep our children safe at school and our staff, school teachers, et cetera, with cleaning, spacing, nutrition, all of those types of things. So we'll have that available. And then also, we have revenue at the state level. But I can assure you that it is a commitment of mine, it's a commitment of ours, and we will do everything that we can to support it financially.